Hello, friends. Welcome back to Penny for the Soul. Today, the 9th of December, is the 50th martyrdom year of my paternal cousin, Lieutenant Samir Chandavarkar, who died fighting in the war for Bangladesh in 1971. Samir was a young tank commander who fought valiantly, won many a battle before, his last battle where he was ambushed by the Pakistan army and tragically tortured to death, along with two of his junior commissioned officers. So in this episode, I have invited 5 retired Indian Army officers, 4 of whom were in the same battle sector with Samir. They will talk about him and his, valor. We also have Seema, that is Samir's youngest sister, on the episode. For the record, the Indian government awarded Samir a Sena Medal, the Gallantry Award, for his bravery and valor. So please watch this episode. Good afternoon, General Batra. The first question is to you, and that is, you were Lieutenant Chandavarkar's squadron commander in the 1971 Bangladesh war. Can you tell us a little about his leadership qualities?
Yeah, sure. First thing, I'm lucky that I was the squadron commander. I carry some very, very pleasant memories of our days together. Sam, as I recall him, was a very quiet, smart, and handsome cavalry officer. My first meeting that I had with him, I could make out that he comes from a very good family background, had good schooling, and had correct value systems in life. As far as his leadership qualities are concerned, Sam was very close to his command. His men liked him because he spent most of his time training, playing, and eating with them, and spent quite a bit of time looking after their welfare. And he knew each and every boy from his troop very well. And that's a very basic quality of a leader, that is to know your command and know your people very well, because then they start loving you. They hold you in a lot of affection and values. So that is one very good quality he had. As far as leadership qualities are concerned, later when we talk about the war, I'll cover those later also. Okay. In brief, without taking much of your time, I would sum up Sam as a good soldier, a gentleman soldier, a gentleman par excellence. And I remember him with a lot of love and affection and with a lot of very pleasant memories of our short time together that we had.
Thank
Anything
you.
else you want?
No, thank you, General. So, General, I'm coming to one very important question, and that is, before the Kushtia battle. So, Lieutenant Chandavarkar had to face General Barar, General Raina, and Brigadier Jail Singh. Such a trio of senior officers who finally gave him the order, to take his 3-tank troop into the battle for Kushtia. And this despite Lieutenant Chandavarkar telling them that he had Mukti Bahini information, which told him about strong Pakistani army presence in Kushtia. But then, they didn't want to hear anything about this. So would you like to comment on that incident? Because that was a very critical incident.
This section, Rahul, would be reminiscence of charge of the Light Brigade. There also, wrong orders given by commanders led to the massacre of troops. It was a tragic thing which happened and repeated itself. Sam was very right when he advised them that the tanks should not lead the advance, and infantry or even Mukti Bahini boys should be sent earlier to check if there is any enemy or not. Because having seen Kushtia myself, it was a built-up area, wooded. On both sides of the road, the land was very marshy. The tanks or even the infantry could not get off the road. But unfortunately, his advice was not taken. That's a sad part of the whole thing. And so therefore, like a good soldier, once he was ordered to move, he moved. And I would also say here one thing, that even he knew that there could be problems, yet he led the advance himself. His was the leading tank when he took both the troops and moved into there. When I got back after having learned about this debacle, I had a very serious confrontation with the GOC and the brigade commander. And I told them in no uncertain terms that if this tragedy that has taken place, it is because of poor generalship and nothing else. Anyway, I was taken to one side, told to be quiet. I had to keep quiet because I knew that nothing can be done at this point of time. Subsequently, later, I'll give you what exactly happened.
Yeah.
But here, all that I can say, it was destiny which played a very important role in Sam's life. If I may have a minute to say, there's a beautiful Punjabi saying, "Maan janmendi sat, karam na dendi wand." That means a mother gives birth to her children, but she is not responsible for the destiny. In this case also, I think destiny played foul with us because he took away Sam from us. We were the losers. Maybe God had something better for Sam.
Thank you, General, for that extremely good explanation of that tricky situation. I wanted to ask you that finally, as it's well documented, Lieutenant Chandavarkar's tanks did walk into that ambush, Pakistani ambush, and very tragically, Lieutenant Chandavarkar and 2 JCOs were tortured to death, which is also documented. Now, my point is that what did 45 Cavalry specifically and the Indian Army do about this? Because this is a war crime as per the Geneva Convention.
Right, Rahul. First, let me put things in the correct perspective. Immediately after the war was over, the Indian Army got busy with the parade at Dhaka. Units formation had to move back to their locations. Our regiment was moved to the desert. Immediately, we moved on hot priority. However, this case was taken up. When I was leaving Fort Dev, I had gone to meet the GOC, and I personally told him also the same thing, that a proper inquiry must be conducted on this operation. And people who had tortured our boys and killed them, they must be taken to task because now they are our prisoners, and we have all the rights to carry out a proper investigation. Later on, I learned that investigation was carried out. Unfortunately, because of our move and various postings that we have to undergo, one could not follow it up, but the regiment did follow up. An inquiry was held. What was the final outcome? Unfortunately, I didn't know myself. But inquiry was conducted. That I'm positive.
Okay. Thank you, General, for all these explanations. I'm grateful.
Rahul, can I take one more minute, please?
Sure.
When I had met Sam for the first time when he came for interview, I was very impressed with him because I found him to be a very smart, handsome kind of a guy. He spoke about his family with a lot of feeling and compassion. Spoke about his mother, about his sisters, his days in school, and all kind of, lovable memories that he had. So I took a great liking to him, knowing that he is the only male member in the family. And I took it on myself that I would look after him. But as I said earlier, fate had different thing to play. That is where one could do nothing about it. Thanks.
Thank you, General. I really appreciate this. So we move to Colonel Nitin Chandra, who is now from the 45 Cavalry and a military historian, who's researched many battle in Bangladesh and especially battles involving Lieutenant Chandavarkar. And he's going to recount to us some of those battles. So I'm going to invite him, over to you, Colonel Nitin.
Thank you, Rahul. It's very kind and it's a great opportunity and an honor to speak in an August forum like this, where we have General Batra, Brigadier Mehta, Brigadier Apte, Colonel Harshvardhan, who are all veterans of the 1971 war. We all heard of our people who have done so well and who fought the war and sacrificed their life, the Major D.S. Narak and Sam. We all looked up to Sam because he was a classic case of a leader leading from the front. The war was fought on PT-76 tanks. Just to show you what a PT looks like, this is a PT-76 tank as seen from the rear. The tank here is doing a flotation exercise where it is going across a river. These are the water jets which propel it. The tank was classic because it could even fire while afloat. This is a PT-76 tank which is under camouflage. It is ready for battle. You can see the tank crews ready to go into action. Okay, now coming back to the battle. We are all looking at the battle as if started on the 3rd of December, but that is not so. 45 cavalry had gone into battle in the month of November. On 27th November, we had already inducted into the battle zone. The first battle was fought on 21st of November, in a place called Jiban Nagar. The brigade went in like this, 62 Brigade, and the squadron, except for one troop, came to this place called Tintulia. The attack was on this place called Jiban Nagar. Once the attack was in place, it was found that some troops were escaping from Jiban Nagar towards Khalispur on the north. So Sam, along with a troop of tanks, moved towards this side, just south of Hansda, and engaged the enemy troops who were escaping from Jiban Nagar towards Khalispur. That was on 27th of November. On 30th of November, Sam and the squadron, they were generally moving towards, the aim was to go to this place called Darsana. Darsana comprised of Chandpur, Darsana railway station, and Darsana halt railway stations. So they were coming from this direction. While coming towards this location called Uthali, they had some enemy opposition in the area called Andulbaria. There with one troop and three troops, along with the infantry battalion called 9 Dogra, they engaged the enemy at Andulbaria and cleared their opposition so that the route to Uthali could open. Then on night 3rd and 4th, they were in this area of Akhandbadia for an attack to be launched on Darsana railway station or Darsana location on the 4th of December early morning. So on 4th morning, while the infantry 5-1 GR, they put in an attack in this direction. That is the time that Sam and Major Batra, together in the first assault, they went in and captured the area of the Darsana halt railway station. After that, in phase 2, Sam was dispatched with a troop of tanks to go and capture Chandpur. Interestingly, by the time they reached Chandpur and captured, cleared the area of Chandpur, they found that even the food was still hot on the plates, and the patilas in which the food was made and the chapatis on the tawas were still warm. The enemy had just escaped from there. 5-1 GR, which was the infantry battalion, and 45 cavalry were awarded Battle Honor Darsana on this day. That is today, the 4th of December. From Darsana, the next task was to go and establish a roadblock in Uttar Narayanpur and Paschim Durgapur. So a battalion, 5 guards and 45 cavalry Alpha Squadron, they moved from Darsana and crossed this Chitra river. From here, while after the crossing, after the squadron had moved up, Sam's troop was detached and sent to this location called Paschim Durgapur on this white track to establish a roadblock here. A major action took place at Uttar Narayanpur, but there was no major action at Paschim Durgapur. However, the roadblock was established and was in place. From here, what happened was at a place called Swadi, which you see here, marked with the star. On night 5th, 6th, there was a major battle over here. A number 4 troop of the regiment was engaged in the battle along with 5 Marathas. They found that the opposition was very heavy. So Sam, who was just located nearby at Paschim Durgapur, was told to go and reinforce the tank troop at Swadi. So Sam and Sam's troop number 1 and number 3 troop, they did an assault onto the Swadi defenses with the infantry following them. They ran over the objective, they crushed the defenses, ran over the bunkers, and they were able to achieve success by the assaulting infantry. In the process, one of Sam's tanks blew up a track and was damaged, and therefore for the future battles, Sam was left with only 2 tanks. From Swadi, the next location that he was told to go was to a place called Kot Chandpur with 9 Dogra. When he reached, this was not a very major opposition. They had a railway station, some defenses being built near a railway station, a rail bridge. So 9 Dogra and Sam, they assaulted this location and cleared it. This is Kot Chandpur. After Kot Chandpur, The next major battle was at Jhenida. Here, it was a squadron battle in which Sam was told to also move from Port Chandpur and reinforce the complete squadron at Jhenida. This unit was 5-1 Gurkha Rifles. This was also cleared in the, but in the overall plan, Sam made a major contribution in clearing Jhenida along with the rest of the squadron. Now from Jhenida, the next location they were told to go to was Kushtia. While the squadron moved from Magura, from Jhenida, the squadron, two troops of the regiment moved to Jhenida under Major Batra. Sam and one more troop, that is number 3 troop of Alpha Squadron, were told to go to Jhenida, to Kushtia, along with 7 infantry division, which Brigadier Jal Singh was the command. So once they came from Jhenida, when they reached Kushtia, this is the location where the ambush took place. To give you an oversight, this is the canal. After the ambush was well sighted like this. Though we were not aware of it, the details of the ambush and who said what to whom has already been covered by General Batra. But to tell you how it happened, once they were given the orders to move ahead, there was number 3 troop which was leading. The troop leader was Naib Roslar George Thomas. Behind his troop was Sam's troop. The moment the tanks crossed, the first tank crossed, they reported uncanny silence in the village. That is where Sam decided to take things in his own hand, and he moved his tank to the front of the complete column. So it was Sam's tank leading from the front with number 3 troop tanks behind him. And in the last was another tank of Sam's troop. He had, as I said, he had only 2 tanks because 1 tank he had already lost at Swadi. So when the column moved up, that is when the fire came from the blocking position or the ambush which had been set up by the Pakistani squadron of 29 cavalry. The ambush was a success because they were able to trap all the tanks inside. However, one of the tanks, which was the last tank, it did a skid turn, came back over here, came along to the canal and gave a fire support to extricate the infantry personnel of 22 Rajput and whatever tank crews we could get out of this. The Sam's tank got a direct hit. The number 3 tank got a direct hit. The number 2 tank went down the embankment over here. And over here, it was able to engage the enemy from here, though the gun was functional. So they destroyed 1 tank. The tank which came back behind the canal, it was able to destroy 1 tank. The number 4 tank was, it stalled right over here on the road embankment, and it also suffered a number of hits. We lost 7 of our crew members, including Sam and 1 JCO, in this tank ambush. And about 14 people were able to, the tank crews were able to extricate themselves. Kushtia was Sam's last battle. He fought well, he fought like a tiger, he fought like an officer, he was an officer and a gentleman. He lived by the gun and he died by the gun. We in the regiment are very proud of him and the sacrifice he made for the nation.
Thank you, Colonel Nitin. I'm going to ask you a couple questions. One is that it's well documented. We asked General Batra about Lieutenant Chandavarkar's tragic end through torture by the Pakistani army, and not just him but the 2 JCOs with him. So I wanted to know, because you have done a lot of research, you had told me a couple of days back that the Pakistani commander at Kushtia was questioned back home by his higher ups. Can you throw a little light on that about the torture?
Yeah, it happened like this. Firstly, there's no denying the fact that the torture took place, because the way the bodies were recovered, they had ropes around their feet. Obviously, they were captured alive. Otherwise, dead bodies would not have ropes around their feet. And the way their bodies were lying, there were clear cases of body mutilations. Yes, people in Pakistan contacted me from through their relatives in England. What happened was, while I mentioned that in the ambush, our troops also fought back in the counter ambush, and we destroyed 2 tanks. On one of the tanks was also a Lieutenant Khalid Khadak of 29 Cavalry. Like Sam, he was a young man, just commissioned. He had, I think, about 3 months of service. And as a coincidence, uh, he was also from Alpha Squadron of a cavalry regiment. So his cousins had got in touch with me, like you have, Hassan, and they wanted to know the whereabouts of the body of the young man. So I told them that, look, I do not have any details of that. So we got talking, and they shared with me some data, some images of a letter where some documentation where the squadron commander of that tank ambush, the squadron commander was Major Sherur Rahman of 29 Cavalry, who later commanded the 29 Cavalry. I think these days he is not living too well and he stays in Lahore. So the people have questioned him about the torture that he had done and the mutilation, whereby they said about all the nearly 384 or some soldiers were run over by his tanks. So he was quite embittered that after having given a good account, his own countrymen are asking him the questions about, running over tanks, running tanks over people and killing people, live soldiers, enemy soldiers under the tracks. But especially when we had treated their soldiers, 93,000 soldiers, so well in the POW camps. He has denied this allegation that I have not run my tanks over any people. But the fact still remains that bodies were mutilated, whether mutilated before or tortured to death and then mutilated. The fact still remains that the bodies and the evidence was there.
And I wanted to, because you also mentioned this Lieutenant Khalid of the Pakistan Army, another troop leader, tank commander, who died fighting in that battle. My point is that his family, I believe, has contacted you because they are bringing out a souvenir in his memory. So can you tell us a little about that?
Yeah, the family as such, they were we can't even say that they are Pakistanis and we Indians and we enemies or something like that. They are a family who lost a young boy, like we lost a young boy in the battle. The political situation, the reasons why the war took place are entirely different issues. But at the moment, it is families, and there's a loss, there's grief. When they have grief, I spoke to them. They were all equally sorry and also very unhappy with the fact that we also lost a boy. So they used me as a media to convey the condolences and their sorrow for having lost Sam. They are bringing out a souvenir. The gentleman who contacted me is a Dr. Nasir. He's a psychiatrist in London. His uncles, they are in Texas. So they are bringing out the souvenir in memory of Lieutenant Khalid. He was awarded the Sitar-e-Jurrat, that is equivalent to a Veer Chakra, by the Pakistani Army for this action.
Wonderful. Thank you for those inputs, Colonel Nitin. Thank you very much. Colonel Harshvardhan, good afternoon. Tell us, you were a troop leader like Lieutenant Chandavarkar in the same regiment, in the same battle sector. So can you tell us about some anecdotal memories, please, what you remember?
Yeah, I mean, the first time I met Sam was in Ahmad Kaur Sultan School, Ahmednagar. I was doing my bios and he was doing his bios. We both overlapped. But that was about a week or 10 days. And after that, he moved back to the regiment and I had to finish my course. And I went back to the regiment after the course. Then the clouds of war were already there. So we moved to Konk area, somewhere near Krishnanagar. My memory is hazy, exact places, names I wouldn't know. So, and that is where we formed a bond, because that was the first time we were together. Before that, he was in the regiment, I was in the course and all that. And there, like all 21 years old or 22 years old used to dream about things, what will happen.
Thank you. Thank you, Colonel Harshvardhan. And, I must appreciate the fact that you joined this session despite undergoing a major heart surgery, a bypass surgery just 10 days back, So I admire your spirit as a soldier and as a good buddy.
Thank you.
We appreciate this. Thank you very much. Brigadier Ajit Apte is an artillery officer. He was also in the same battle region, in the same division, if I'm not mistaken. And the point is that Brigadier Apte and Lieutenant Chandavarkar were school mates at the famous Scindia school, Gwalior. And so I want him to recount some school memories or even memories as young officers.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Rahul. Yeah, I'll tell you, Sam was with me in school, and I think we were the same batch. So, you see, he was, of course, in a different house, Ranoji House. I was in Ravindra House. But maybe we were in different sections, but same batch. And Sam and I and a lot of friends, I never heard Sam mentioning about joining the armed forces. We were about 7 or 8 of us who went to the NDA. And Sam, as I realized, went through the officers training school. So when I bumped into Sam, as my coursemate and dear friend Harshvardhan says, you see, 45 Cavalry was in Kanchrapara, if I am right, 50 years have gone by now. And my regiment also, which was in Nifa, very close to it, we were brought in quickly, and I came in the advance party of the regiment in August. And we were located in Kanchrapara, where I met Sam by chance. And I was one of the 3 officers because my regiment had to build up from Tezpur. So 45 Cavalry had given a very nice party. And I think that's the first time I met General Bantu Batra, Brigadier Mehta, and 45 Cavalry organized a wonderful get-together. So while Sam and I, we recognized each other straight away, we went down memory lane straight back to Scindia School, Gwalior. And Sam said, Ajit, what? I said, I went to NDA. I took a lot of names, Sameer Pal, Dhillon, Bridge Call, 8, 9 of us, Kishore Bhadbade, the whole lot of us. And we had a wonderful 2-hour session. And after that, as later when I met someone from 45 Cavalry, I asked him, I said, where is Lieutenant Sameer Chandavarkar? Because I had met 45 Cavalry officers earlier. So they told me that he's not here, he's gone on a different axis. But that time one didn't know anything. Subsequently, after war was declared exactly 50 years ago, as we all know yesterday, I got to know about Sam somewhere around 12th of December. If I'm not wrong, Sam met this unfortunate incident on 9th December, and I got to know about him on the 12th. And I felt very sad. So later, of course, as General Batra mentioned, we all went ahead, the surrender took place. My regiment also moved to the Western Front. And that's where I again got in touch with 45 Cavalry. We were all together. So that's the time I got to know what exactly happened. And then, of course, I wrote to the school. And that time, as you know, communications were not like now. There was no WhatsApp, there was no TV, there was no mobile phones. Even there were no STDs that time. But later I went to the school because Kishore Bhadbade, another batchmate of mine in SAMS, was also killed in the Longewala battle on the first day. Kishore and I were benchmates in school. We were neighboring houses. So then I realized what had happened to him also. So we got this recorded in the school archives. And that is what I can say about Sam. In school, he was a very fine boy, as General Batra says, a very dashing, smart boy, and good friends. Even I was instructor later at the Officers Training Academy in '79. So I interacted with a lot of people who were there, instructors with me, and I think one of them was Sam's coursemate. So I did hear good things. So I must say with a lot of pride that we also got to know about Sam's father while we were in school, because maybe Seema will know this unfortunate incident happened with their father sometime in 1961 or 62.
62.
That's right. And that was a very sad incident. And Sam, I feel so sad that the father had gone. Sam was a dear person. He has gone behind 2 beautiful sisters, 1 cousin. It pains. And especially so when I wrote that little article yesterday, and I sent it to all my batchmates.
Wonderful it was.
You all have seen it. I think it was just a fitting tribute that just came to my mind within 15 minutes. I wrote it, but I sent it to all my batchmates. It's gone to Sindhya School. It's gone on the Sindhya School Common Room platform. And I think that's the best way to pay homage to a very fine budding leader, a great gallant officer who gave everything for the service of the nation in the highest traditions of the Indian Army. He made the supreme sacrifice, is what I can say. Seema, be proud of your brother.
Yeah.
I know you are his youngest sister. Your respected mother has also gone. But all I will say is, proud of your brother. He was a very gallant officer who led from the front, as General Batra has mentioned. He made the supreme sacrifice for the nation. The day I heard about Sam, let me tell you, my own brother was killed in action today, 50 years ago. My first cousin, he was Brigadier Mehta's coursemate from the NDA. He was a fighter pilot. He was shot down today, 4th December, captured and killed in action. He got a Veer Chakra posthumously. He left behind a young 20-year-old wife. They were married only for 10 months. So I know how painful it is. Seema, I'll just say this much, be proud of your brother. Rahul, be proud of your brother. And on that note, it's quite painful for me to bring back memories which are nearly 60 years old, let me put it that way. So on that note, my sincere thanks to you all, and a big, great salute to a great officer and gentleman in Samir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brigadier Apte. Thank you very much. I'll move on to Brigadier Mehta. Brigadier Mehta has written an excellent book called The Burning Chaffies, and he's also brought out another book just a couple days back. But the question to Brigadier Mehta really is, he was Lieutenant Chandavarkar Senior in the same cavalry, in the same regiment, 45 Cavalry. He coincidentally went to receive Lieutenant Chandavarkar at the railway station when he came to join the regiment. So, it's a very interesting situation, and I wanted Brigadier Mehta to recount any memories from that specific incident and,
Thank you, Rahul. Rahul, first of all, my compliments to you and to Seema, as also the officers present, for organizing this talk on Zoom on a day which also happens to be the Darsana Day that the regiment celebrates as a battle honor. And certainly, there is a major part which was played by Sam Chandavarkar in this, which the regiment continues to, rejoice every year, because this is a battle honor, and this the most glorious thing that the regiment was able to achieve in the 1971 war. And this is really dedicated to the squadron commanded by Major General Batra, then as a major, as also the two other officers who form part of this Zoom call today. Now, coming back to the question that you raised, I can share in a small forum like this, be very frank, and share with you that I never thought very much of the crop of direct entry officers and short service commission officers who had recently joined the regiment. So I had my own reservations when I was asked to go down to the railway station, because all that I knew at that particular point in time was that another short service commission officer was going to join us. But I had to perform that particular duty. And when I landed up there, at the very first meeting itself, I was a little taken aback, because here was a young man, smart, well-dressed, and very, very cheerful. Normally you would expect that there would be a certain degree of shyness or trepidation. No, nothing of that particular nature. Confident, he walked up, introduced himself, and soon we got talking on our ride back to the officers' mess. During that little limited journey, maybe a couple of minutes, I was able to share and, ask him a few questions. And when he mentioned about his father being in the army, he was quite straightforward and honest. And he mentioned the circumstances under which the sad accident of 1962 had taken place. He spoke about his younger sisters and his mother. And from his demeanor, from his confidence level, from his articulation, and from his expression, it was evident the type of school and the family environment in which he had grown up. It was all evident, And from here, as soon as we reached the officers' mess, he did a quick change. And I then took him over to a function that was being conducted at Brigadier and Mrs. Gulati's house. It was a regimental get-together. Now, the ease with which he was able to, then the confidence level gave you all clear indications that he must have been a born cavalier. Because when he was introduced to the other people and he sat around and met them and joined that particular group, it became evident to everybody that here was a young officer who's going to spend a lot of time with the regiment. And in the years ahead, he will, one day stand up to command this particular regiment. What I also remember about this particular get-together is that at the end of it, I think everybody had virtually fallen in love with this young man, because here was a young man who gave you no indication that he was a short service commission officer. He was like any other NDA officer. And from what Ajit has mentioned and his squadron commander and the other troop leader have mentioned, I think all this goes to indicate that may be the hand of destiny. But it's very unfortunate for the regiment. But once again, coming back to where I started, compliment, because in 50 years, and that is a credit that goes to Rahul and to Seema for putting this whole thing together and making it a document. And I hope you send a copy of this to the regiment also. And that also on a day, which is the biggest event as far as 45 Cavalry is concerned. Thank you.
So finally, I come to Seema, that is, my cousin and Lieutenant Chandavarkar's youngest sister. So Seema, tell us, I'm going to share a photo also, but tell us what you remember about your doting brother,
Actually, I was the youngest in the family, and Samir and Kanchan, my elder sister, they were very, very close, very, very close. And I was a little tot, I was a little brat, and he used to be always, teasing me, and he used to tease me a lot, and yeah. He used to, that's Kanchan, and that's me in the court, and that's Samir behind me in Mathura. We were in Mathura together that time. He just come back from Agra. He was studying in Agra, his college. His +2 he did in Agra. And I remember he used to tease me so much, and he used to call me he used to keep on, we had a relationship of his teasing me a lot. And Kanchan and him were very, very close, very, very close. They were like, they were very close. And I remember him so handsome. And I remember just before he went to the war, he used to love that song, Bedame Musho. That's an old song. And he used to play the guitar beautifully, the guitar. And he used to sing too. I remember him singing that song, Bedame Musho, before he left. We had a little get together before he left. And my mother, so that's the memory I have of him, because very much, he was very handsome and so full of life. And he was so protective of my elder sister. He was so protective and so, he was a gentleman, absolutely. That's what my memory is about him. And I remember him teasing me a lot. I remember that. And his singing and his guitar. He used to play beautifully.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone, for this time spent and all those anecdotes and all the kind words you all have all, mentioned about my cousin and our, brother, Lieutenant Samir Chandavarkar. So it makes us hugely proud. And I am going to share this video story and the link with all of you, so that a whole lot of people in 45 Cavalry and the Indian Army and all over the world, actually, in India and across the world, can see this, the camaraderie and bonhomie that exists. Wish 45 Cavalry, my respects, and all the brave men and women of the Indian Armed Forces a huge respect and salam.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Seema, look after yourself.
Yes, Brigadier Mehta. So wonderful
Cheer
being
up.
with you all these years.
Cheer up. It's a proud day.
No, I'll
It's a
cheer
proud
up.
day.
Yes,
Okay.
so wonderful to see you all. It's like for me very emotional to see Sameer's seniors and his co-mates, and Rahul. Thank you so much for getting this together. I tell you, it's marvelous. It's for me, it's a kind of a treasure. It's a treasure, absolutely.
We'll organize something so that you and Rahul can come to the regiment and get to meet everybody else also.
Oh no!
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you.
We'll do that. We'll arrange that.